But right, so we've just arrived last night, Jake and I, in Stoke-on-Trent. Stoke-on-Trent, I lived in Stoke-on-Trent for about 3 years while my wife Hannah finished her medical degree. While we were here, we started buying buy-to-let HMOs for properties to rent out to students and professionals around the hospital and the university. And while I was here, I trained, of course, at Strength Asylum Gym, which I'm sure a lot of you will have heard of. It's run and owned by a guy called Andy, a lovely guy, and I've asked him if we could meet up with him today, which we're on the way now, to have a chat with him about how he's basically built one of the best gym brands in the country. Not only is it one of the best gym brands, it's just a phenomenal gym, but more so he's done things with social media and stuff way ahead of any other gym owners, and he put a lot of money and loves it like it's his own child, this gym. So we're off there now to have a chat with him about how he's done it, and kind of anyone else is interested in gyms, or do you know what, business in general, if you treat your business the way he's treated and built this gym, you'll be successful without a doubt. It's not been an overnight success, and it's taken a long time, but now he's a worldwide renowned brand, which is very rare for a gym. And after that, we're going to do a big leg session. I didn't actually sleep very well last night, so it's going to be pretty difficult, but it will be awesome. We'll try and get some good footage of the gym, get inside Andy's head about how he set up the gym, and show you guys around, and show you a bit of Stoke-on-Trent. Enjoy.
I could give you the sky and the light will guide you. Running the wild, that's where I'll find you. Open your mind to all that binds you. Look for the story to unfold inside.
Got this rematch.
What is
Seven on the break.
Are you joking?
Fucking 1,000 talk. So what's it all planned to be, this part?
I am storage, treatment rooms, little training studio, classroom, office, posing room.
That'd be awesome.
A little unit, and I thought I'll give it a go buying and selling equipment. Did that for about 3 or 4 years. That was getting pretty tough, like hard work, clearing old gyms on my own. There was a bit of money in it, but just fucking hard work.
And that was all in Stoke, was it still? Have you always been in Stoke?
Yeah, I've always sort of
born and bred
from Stoke. Yeah, well, I went to Birmingham for a couple of years for university to do graphic design.
Okay.
When I was 18, 19, I trained it only because I wanted to train at Dorian's.
So you literally did that for Dorian?
Yeah.
Was that the As you do?
Is that
still was it still called Temple Gym?
Yeah, it was the original Temple Gym. That was
downstairs, and
that was it. Yeah, that was 94 to 96. So it was his sort of last couple of years when he was.
And he was there as well.
Yeah, I can remember the first day I walked in because I was probably just turned 18, something like that. Walking down the stairs, a bit intimidating because he was down this alley and all you could hear was like fucking AC/DC blasting up the stairs. Walked down the dirty stairs, and he was just sat at a table. It was like a farmhouse table at the time. It was like a 6-7 foot farmhouse table. I couldn't even see the table. It was just fucking full of fucking supplements and food and that. And he was sitting on a chair, and I thought, fucking hell, that's weird, because he was sitting on the front of the chair, but his back was touching the chair still. His back was that thick. He was sitting forward on the chair, so it was weird. But yeah, so I trained there for 2 years. Unfortunately didn't really get to see a lot of Dorian train, because he used to train before the gym opened. He'd train about 11 o'clock in the day, but quite often I'd sneak off from university, try and get a dinner time session in, and just catch the back end of him training.
Right, okay. He's obviously been quite a contributing factor to like the gym exposure.
Yeah, he was training at I think he originally been training at Total Fitness when he was younger.
Total Fitness?
Yeah, and then he moved down the road to a gym called Lifestyles or something like that. I'd heard of him and seen him about and stuff, and then I think there was a bodybuilding competition, on a local bodybuilding competition, and I saw him there, and I just approached him and said, look, I'm opening a gym.
Had you opened it at that point, or you hadn't?
I think, looking back, I think it was probably just on on the verge. We might have just opened, or we were just opening, because I can remember sort of handing out. I'd gone down to hand out flyers and stuff.
And presumably Eddie wasn't the Eddie he is now. You saw potential in him.
Yeah, I think that might have been the first year that he'd qualified to compete at the Worlds, but he didn't make the finals.
Right. Okay.
And I just said to him that I'm opening a gym. It's going to be more up your street. We will have strongman equipment. It'll be a proper training gym rather than the commercial gym. If there's kit you need, we'll do a bit of all that sort of stuff.
Did you get a lot of like bits?
It was about every time we have. I mean, it's probably about another 4 or 5 months before he came. He started coming up on 1 or 2 day passes at weekends. I think what it was, because he'd got his first Worlds competition coming up, he didn't want to change his environment, and he wanted to get that one out of the way. Training in an environment he's familiar with. So yeah, virtually as soon as he got that first World's Strongest Man competition out of the way, then he came and started training from us sort of permanently then. But I mean, originally, same with the bodybuilding side of the gym, we didn't really have much kit. We had basic kit, we just had a yoke and some farmers walks. And then over as a progression, over a period of time, we just kept picking up extra bits of kit.
Like, you've got one of the most recognisable gym brands, not only in the UK but like across the world. Like, people all over the world have heard of Strength, and like, you've gone above and beyond when it comes to like investing in people that come to your gym. You've understood from like day one, which other gym owners haven't.
Well, that's my passion is training, whether it's powerlifting, bodybuilding, strongman, weightlifting, whatever. I love the gym environment. I love training. And anybody that I see with
took money out of your back pocket to invest in those people. Without knowing that was actually going to bring more like revenue or brand awareness.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't for that, because
you literally did it out of passion.
To be fair, I've not really got any business sense at the time when I first started. He was just doing something. I saw an opportunity. We can do this. This guy can do this. I've seen the potential in him. I think with this or with that, he can do. So yeah, we just.
And then you obviously progressed into social media. So you've had like Sasan and other top pros. You kept people coming over.
Yeah, this sort of time sort of elapsed. I sort of realised the potential in using social media. And I was really pretty narrow-minded. But then I think owning the gym and seeing different people come and go, and I started appreciating that. Not everybody wants to be a bodybuilder. Some people just want to get out of the fucking house for 10 minutes, don't they? Some people are just happy just to keep the finger in.
So you started sticking things as a business owner rather than just a
it changed me outlook. And I think because of how high I had to sort of rein my training in, I'd had a few injuries and a hernia and damaged shoulder and a few other bits. I changed my outlook on training. I wasn't training to be the biggest and strongest I could anymore. It was more just to stay in shape and just as a bit of a release, really. And then most guys do come to the gym just as a bit of a release. They've been stressed out at work all day, or fucking missus has been moaning at them, and they just won't let go, don't they? So you come to the gym, get it out of your system, and you go home and you're relaxed, aren't you?
What would you say is like the biggest contributing factor to you building a brand now? Because I know you've spoken before about your clothing, right? You literally have people all over the world buying your clothing. I turn up to gyms all over the country.
The first thing was the name of the logo, because like I said before, I actually went to university to do graphic design and stuff. So I knew a good. Nobody wants to walk around with a pure gym fucking top on, do you?
That's true.
From day one, you
knew the brand.
I wanted a catchy name, something that was different, branding, something that said what we were. Because some gym, I shouldn't say, but there's a gym opening up soon, and by the name, you don't even know if it's a fucking gym. It sounds like it could be a roofing company or whatever. You don't know.
So for you, it's quite an important thing.
Yeah, it's got to say exactly what it is, what you're doing. Not like it was a hardcore image. The visual picture was a pretty hardcore image of the double biceps. So that was a massive thing. The logo and the name. Look at all the big brands. They've all either got great names or great logos and stuff, haven't they? That's what makes something stand out from all.
You are as well. you don't want to admit how much of an impact you've had. Like, I know that you've done things that are completely irrational and spent probably more time and money on it than you ever should.
Yeah,
because you love it. But in my opinion, in all the businesses I've bumped into, anyone that's built a brand like that has had to have put that irrational time and money into it. And
yeah,
like I
looking
said,
back, I've done some pretty irrational things, and I've probably took a few risks that I probably shouldn't have.
well,
Yeah.
but the thing is, I think those risks are necessary to get to the level you got to. But if you weren't passionate, you didn't love it, you wouldn't have ever done
No,
that.
100%. If I was purely business minded, and I wasn't
Without the
doing-
love for the brand.
Yeah, it's like getting pros come over to do appearances and stuff like that. To be fair, some of the tour managers charge extortionate prices. Really, I appreciate that if you're top of your game, you deserve, or you can command a premium sort of figure for an appearance. But it's got to be a bit of give and take. You want to do appearances, gyms want you, but if you're not willing to sort of come down to their level, to a reasonable sort of, I mean, like £4,000 or £5,000. I've even been quoted figures of like 8,000 with another 4,000 spend and stuff like that. So if you're talking over 10,000 for a pro come to your gym for 2-3 hours, there's definitely no return in that. But for me, it wasn't just that. It was I wanted to meet my heroes. I wanted to meet. I wanted younger people to see the best in the world. Everything I've done is if I've done something, I've done it 100%. Even if I was shit at it, I still tried really hard.
Yeah.
I played cricket, I was shit at it, but I fucking tried hard. Every year I'd win the Player of the Year for effort, but I'd fucking never get anybody out, and I'd drop catches, but I'd be the one running around trying the hardest. And I think I've just found a niche. I think I found something that I was actually good at and really wanted to do, and it did become an obsession. It wasn't about being the best gym in Stoke-on-Trent or being the best gym in the Midlands or anything like that. It was about just being the best gym that I could do. I always knew that, and I still know that if somebody came along with a ridiculous budget, like some of the guys in Kuwait, the gyms they're building over there, doing refurbs for 20 million, I can't fucking compete with that. I've got no intention of competing with that. But I'll just do the best I can do with what I've got every time. And sometimes I did things and they didn't. I tried different businesses and they didn't fucking work out. But as long as you learn from your mistakes, and you've got a bit of, I think common sense is the thing with business, because nobody knows everything. And I think the more mistakes you make, sometimes it's the better. I've made fucking loads of mistakes and loads of balls up and lost money, and I think I probably got to about the age of 35 and I thought, oh fuck this, I'm just never going to be able to do anything. And I started thinking and making excuses about, oh, he's done that because he's fucking inherited this or they've helped him with that. But it's not, it's because he kept on and they kept on trying and stuff. And I just saw a little bit of an opportunity when I was buying and selling the gym equipment that, you know, I could probably make a little bit of money at this. So I did carry on doing that, but then he to be honest, I had an accident and he made me think that I couldn't afford people to work for me when I was emptying gyms, so I used to do 99% of the work myself, literally clearing an entire gym, dismantling all the kit, carrying it down the fucking stairs to try and make a few quid, and I'd be out sometimes. But I can remember one trip we did, it was a gym in Chelsea, and I drove from Stoke to Chelsea, spent an entire day stripping the gym, drove to, I think it was King's Lynn, with one load one night, sold one load immediately straight away, drove back down 3/4 of the way to London, got in a B&B, slept for about 4 hours, straight back to Chelsea, loaded the van. As soon as I'd done that, I was straight back up to King's Lynn. I did that 4 or 5 days running. Just completely fucking wasted and fucked, but I managed to make, for what was me at the time, a reasonable amount of money. 3 or 4 years, like just working stupid hours, driving up and down all over the country, but without knowing that had given me a brilliant insight into what I thought a successful gym could be, because I'd been in so many gyms. I'd seen gyms that were successful, I'd seen gyms that were failing and they'd sell the stuff off and close the doors. I'd spoke to loads of gym owners, I saw what different kit was available, what kit people liked, And I sort of took all the little good bits that I wanted anyway, and all the little good bits that I'd seen when I was visiting all these gyms, and all the bad bits, and that's what sort of where I sort of got this from. I think that was definitely like a massive factor, having been in so many gyms and seen what sort of worked or what looked good and what equipment was the best. I always wanted hammer strength equipment anyway, hammer strength or Nautilus. For me, bodybuilding wise, them are the best bits of kit anyway. But yeah, just for the experience of being in so many gyms and seeing learning from other people's mistakes. So I think I'd learned from a lot of mistakes without having to make them myself, just from seeing what mistakes other people had made with gyms and what have you. And so that was definitely a big sort of step up and big helping hand.
So, just had an absolutely awesome chat with Andy about how he set up Strength Asylum. He's given me some like insane insights into his mindset and how he set this place up with what he thought was absolutely zero business acumen, zero resources, and like how he was so resourceful with what he had learned in his life to be able to set up arguably one of the best gyms in not only the UK but possibly in the world. It's known all over the world. I mean, we'll rock out the full video soon, but super happy that Andy let us film today. So I think it'll be beneficial for everyone to actually have a listen to what he said. And if you do think that you are not necessarily in a place to set up a business like this, it can be done. If you are resourceful, if you are driven, if you take risks that people might not necessarily take, I think you can do extremely well, and Andy's testament to that. So we're going to smash out a big leg session now, Jake and I, and enjoy the gym that he's built.
Action. Boom. Pick up. That's it. Again. Get it in. So. Come on.
Andy's got insane amounts of fun equipment which we don't normally get to use. So rather than I'll do a normal workout where we do 1 or 2 top sets on each exercise, we're going to do maybe 1 big top set on each exercise. We're going to do all the machines. It's like being a kid in a candy store.
Come on! Come on, Jake. Come on. Good. Come on.
That was hard. You notice Jake and I, we don't do for legs, we try not to pause between each rep. So we don't lift as much as people that have a nice big 10-second breather between each rep. It's a bit more time under tension, but we still try and go heavy. But the lactate build-up's pretty savage. But it's been helping my legs to grow and his legs to grow, so it's working for us at the moment, but it's not easy.
That's it. Yeah, let's go. Go these. Come on again now. Come on. Love one. Down slow. Come on, keep like that. Again. Pause. And then come on, another one. To the head. Come on. Drill it. Get it up. Oh, there's more, man. There's more. There's more. Get it up. Come on. Oh, he's doing it. Let's go. Ah, that was fucking set. Pause the bomb. Oh. Hold it. Go on, one more. Good. Go on, up. Howdy. Make this a set now, make it a set. Come on, there's only one. There's only one. Come on, make it count now. Come on, we're here now. All in the hands, let's go. Come on, we want failure. You're not getting up for this. You're not making it back up. Come on. There's no way. You're not leaving any more in there. Come on again. Keep it like that, come on. Another one. Get down there, come on. Let's go. Let's go. Get it up. Get it up. Yeah, let's down. Let's get down there. Let's go. Come on, make this your set. Make it your set. Get it up. Come on.
Fuck me.
Yeah, that was good.
Go on, Jake. Good son, man.
Jake, dig in. Let's go.
Come on, Jake. That's it. Come on.
Good. What is it? Come on. Good. Good. Again, come on.
Go on, Jake. Come on.
Finish up the leg session with Andy, and I mean the guy is massively inspiring. He's literally come from no real background of business or anything like that, and managed to build that gym, which is just insane. I mean, I know Jake and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I mean, I trained here for 3 years, and I haven't been to a gym that's anywhere near as good as that. Dropped some really interesting mental kind of attributes that he has, which I think can be attributed to why he's made such a successful gym, which will all be in the video that we put up, well, part of this video. And hopefully, by watching what he's talked about and where he's come from with no backing or family, or he didn't really have any help from any friends or anything. It's not come overnight, but he's built an absolutely phenomenal business, and one that he can be truly proud of. And it's something that I myself haven't managed to build a brand of that caliber, and it's something that I would love to do as a part of my business kind of life. I've done well financially, but I've never built something that I could be as proud of as that, and something that is as well known and such respect. I've never heard of anyone speak badly of Strength Asylum as a brand. I see his hoodies and his t-shirts all over the world. I've been to France and Nice. There was a guy in there wearing a Strength Asylum vest. All over the country, any gym I've trained at in the UK, they're wearing Strength Asylum. I mean, it speaks volumes for how well he's done with that brand, and hopefully by giving a bit of an insight into Andy, which I don't think anyone's done yet, people can kind of see what it takes and the kind of mental fortitude that's required to build a brand and business as successful as that. But I think it's massively fulfilling for him. I think I had a chat with him before we went on camera, and he was saying that probably questioned whether or not he would do it all over again, but it's been a hard work for him, but I think he's truly proud of what he's built. I'm just glad we get to train in that gym because it's freaking awesome. What do you think of Eamon? What did you think of what he
Tell that he's not had the easiest life. You know, when he was younger, he was saying he had a lot of different jobs, and you know, he didn't necessarily have, you know, great academic, you know, he was not an academic person, and he's just tried, and it's his, what I got from him is that it's his passion that has basically got him to where he is. He's passionate about bodybuilding and training, but he saw a gap in the market. He realised that a lot of gyms they had certain flaws, and he thought, well, this is an opportunity for me. And it's really just come off the back of him trying and trying and trying, and just being passionate and following his own vision. So it's really impressive, and like just actually quite inspiring to like sit and listen to him and kind of pick his brains about how he's done it.
John, which I resonate with and agree with completely, is he talks about people taking risks that don't have anything to lose. Now, I've always said there's different phases in business, right? And I believe your kind of 18 to 30 year olds typically is what I would class as your grind phase. And what I mean by that is it's the phase in your life where you should probably have, not everyone, but most people have the smallest amount of responsibility in terms of probably don't have a mortgage or kids or mouths to feed or things like that. So they probably don't have many assets to name. Some do, but on the whole they don't. And by being in a situation where you have nothing to lose, you have tremendous upside potential with risk, with any kind of risky decision. Well, it's not risky because there's no real downside, because you're not losing any assets, you're not going to dehome your family, you haven't got to feed your kids, you've only got you to worry about. And I'm guessing most people are either living with their parents or can move back in with their parents. If they make a big business decision, which they lose everything they've got at that point, or they make a decision where the worst case scenario is, well, that didn't work out, let's try something else. But on the flip side, like he said, a lot of his friends didn't have anything to lose, and they took these big risks in starting up their own businesses and starting up their own ventures. And quite a lot of them actually ended up being very successful, more successful so, as Andy said, than people that actually had a lot to start with, because they weren't willing to take the risk because they had more downside to the business decision or the risk. And it's quite an interesting thing, because I've always thought that, and I've always been willing to take risks. Now I'm married and I've got a mortgage and things like that, I'm much more risk adverse when it comes to big decisions, because if I lose all of that stuff. Whereas before, if I lost, I would just go back to the drawing board and it wouldn't really change my life too drastically, and I didn't have anyone else to worry about. And I think that's been quite a big proponent for him. He came from nothing and didn't really have anything to speak of. He had his experiences from his previous kind of dabblings in gym equipment and building and stuff like that, but he always knew that his downside risk was pretty limited, so why not give it a go? If it goes peak tong, then start again. And I think that's testament to why he's managed to build something so big, because he was willing to put in, to do things that other people wouldn't necessarily do.